What's up YouTube? Welcome back to Homebrew Subaru. In this episode I'm going to continue on with the WRX. What's up everyone? I really haven't spent any time in here from the last episode, so everything's literally in this exact same position as what I left it. I still have the oil pan and drain pan for the coolant on the floor, so I'm going to clean that stuff up. And today I am going to try and get most of the stuff on top disconnected, get the rad out, power steering off, and that kind of stuff, just to make sure it's kind of ready to come out. I think the downpipe, I will just take it off the back of the turbo, and like most turbo EJ engines, can just pull the rest of it with the engine. Maybe disconnect some fuel, do that kind of thing. I did find out the reason this intercooler doesn't fit too well is it's actually off a 2016 STI. So it's an STI intercooler, and well, I don't really plan on using it. I'm pretty sure I'm going to end up going front mount on this car, so this may go up for sale if I can straighten out some of the fins on it. So this isn't going to be too much of a how-to video. I'm literally just going to start working away on this thing and turn on the camera and show you where I've gotten to. I do have the full STI build from Tyler's car on the channel, so I will try and link that at the end of the episode, and maybe put a link down in the description on how to pull your engine out. But fairly easy, and being a 5-speed, I don't really have to worry about a torque converter or anything like that. It's just the bell housing bolts, and should be pretty straightforward. Okay, so it's been about an hour and a half or so. I've gotten quite a bit apart. Not to the point where I'm ready to come out yet, but I've just noticed a couple things, and I kind of want to go over it before I get too far along here. So I've got everything out of the front, most of the stuff off the top, and down along the sides is all disconnected. So power steering I've got laid over to the side. I think this braided line will give me enough room to get past there. One thing you have to be very careful of, kind of hard to see, but you can see the exhaust shield down there, and the O2 sensor is just sticking out of it right where that little piece of broken clip is. But that O2, you have to be very careful because it will catch on the body and snap right off. It's a little difficult to get out of there, and I kind of want to just leave it in and pull it with the engine. But you can see I've got the AC lines completely out of the car, so I've just eliminated them. The condensers out of the car. Most of the wiring is completely undone. I've got the heater hoses undone, the starter is out. So really kind of what's left here is just these fuel lines, the exhaust, so the downpipe has to come off, the bell bolts, bell housing bolts going all the way around, so these guys right here, and just the two motor mount nuts that hold the mounts together, and then it should come out of there. So I did notice when I was coming apart, one of the fans was actually replaced, and someone did a really hack job with the wiring putting it together, but these don't normally like go, so it started to make me wonder. And as I got a little further along, I realized that, well, both the condenser and the rad have both been replaced. It's actually got an automatic rad in it, so it's got the cooler on the bottom. So obviously the car took a good enough hit in the front that probably damaged everything, and that's why it's all been replaced. So just looking at the front of the car, I can kind of see that something's happened in here, because it's a little tighter gap in here, and this is kind of flush. And over on this side, obviously more of a gap, and it's not flush anymore. So I think it's just the mounting that might be bad, because I don't really see any kinks going along the body of the car on either side. Everything looks really straight there. And then also I've noticed it's taken a good whack here. I don't think anyone lifted the car and did that. It's kind of gone over something. It's a little bit bowed up in here, so I should be able to do something with that stuff. and then it doesn't really matter how much this is really out, but this fascia is probably going to be changed out when I go to put the blob eye front on this bug eye. So I'm pretty sure I am going to pull it with the intake manifold on there. I'm going to just disconnect the fuel lines, get rid of the rest of the bolts, and I'll be able to pull the crane over and should be able to sling to the manifold and pull it out. Okay, it's actually a couple days later. I thought I was going to get a little bit more done, at least this morning, or try to, but yesterday I was out of town. I ended up getting my forearm tattooed, so I don't really want to be working with it, just because I've got to get my arms down, crammed into the back there to get some tight bolts, the bell bolts out. But I did take my old GC radiator, the dual core radiator I had in my old car, and I just sat it in place here because I'm pretty sure I've read that you can get these to work in these cars, but it sits a little bit high on the rad support, so I don't know if changing the rad support's bent possibly. I know it's bent a little bit, but yeah, this neck sits very high. I don't see how the hood would even come close to closing, so I don't know if you've got to take the grommets out of the bottom and get this to drop down an inch or two, or if it's going to work at all. I don't know. I'm going to have to read about it, or if somebody knows and can tell me in the comments, I'd appreciate it. So through the week I'll plug away on this and just get those couple little things apart and get the crane pulled over so I can get it pulled out, and should have a video up for next weekend. I don't see why not. If you like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up, and if you're new here and you haven't already, please consider hitting that subscribe button for me. Leave your questions and comments further down below, and I'll see you in the next one.